I will call to order tonight's meeting for the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners on the 16th day of December in the year 2024. At this time, if you would, please join me for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. All right, first on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved, sir.
All right, we have Commissioner Cecina with the motion. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. We will move down to the consent order. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent order as presented.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right, Commissioner Mullen makes the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Now we will start the presentation of employee awards. David Madden and Brittany Abernathy.
Did Jeremiah put this microphone up here as a joke for me? I don't know who this is for, but I get the joke now. I got to sit way back here to get it over here.
They did that where I could hear.
Duly noted, Commissioner Patton. Good evening, Commissioners. I asked Ms. Abernathy to join me up here. This is a change of pace for the board. This is us taking a recognition of 3 elements of our wonderful staff. The first thing is a Rookie of the Year, and then 2 Outstanding Employees of the Year. I'll be presenting those, and Ms. Abernathy will be assisting me in handing out these awards. This is something that we normally had done at our Employee Appreciation Luncheon, but we thought it was really more imperative in order to recognize the high value and quality of our employees by bringing them before the board and talking about some of the great things that they do for Lincoln County. One thing is, I'll be brief when I do the introductions of these employees and recognize them. We'll ask them to come up to receive their recognition, and I'd like to give them an opportunity to speak before the commissioners briefly. And for one of these people on this list, they know what that means briefly. They have my tendency to be a little long-winded, so they'll know who they are. But I just want you to take an opportunity with me as they come up and we'll congratulate them and go through we'll start with the Rookie of the Year. I'd like to, before I get into this, I'd like to just thank Ms. Abernathy here. This process, like I said, was done at the Employee Appreciation Luncheon. It's been something that we thought bringing it to, in order to bring it before the board and to recognize employees and have their families. Because with the Appreciation Luncheon, it's an employee-only event. Families don't really get to come and appreciate the value of their family members and what they do for Lincoln County. We thought this would allow that to happen to be a good transition. Ms. Abernathy is the one that put this process together. We're excited about it, so I do want to recognize her hard work in that. And with that, without further ado, I'm going to start off with our first individual. Make sure no cameras are watching my, I don't want to spoil any surprises with my sheet here. So our first recognition is going to be for the Rookie of the Year. This individual is somebody who is a new employee with the county or someone who has changed their job significantly in either a promotion or something likewise, and it recognizes someone who's really put in the diligence and hard work and has shown that they have excelled in this new role or as a new employee. So I'm going to start by starting out here by describing our Rookie of the Year award recipient rapidly excelled in his role this year. He successfully led a major network replacement project, managed critical network installations, and transferred numerous inter-network connections throughout the county. Although this individual began with limited training, his dedication, technical skills, and problem-solving abilities allowed him to grow at a high level and have made him an invaluable asset to Lincoln County. We are proud to congratulate Mr. Jeff Lovelace as Lincoln County's Rookie of the Year for 2024. We got to get a quick picture.
I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to work for Lincoln County. I'm born and raised here, so it just worked out for me perfectly. And I want to thank my colleagues and boss, Ben and Laurel, for everything they do for us, too. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do for us.
A well-deserved recognition. Jeff's done a lot of hard work recently over at our Emergency Services Center, just to name one of the many areas he's done work. Now, this next two recognitions are for our two outstanding employees of the year. And we did two because in the past we've done two employees. This year, because we've made the change up, we've actually recognized three employees now. So our first outstanding employee of the year, and they're in no order of importance. This is just how we've put together and constructed our nominations. Our first outstanding employee recipient displayed exceptional leadership and dedication to Lincoln County residents and employees. He consistently demonstrates a positive attitude, strong work ethic, and a commitment to his team. His ability to assess situations, make sound decisions, and motivate his staff have been instrumental in overcoming challenges, both expected and unexpected. And they may speak to that in a moment. His exemplary leadership and compassion have been instrumental in promoting a dedicated and capable work team for Lincoln County government. We are proud to congratulate DSS Director Matthew Hillman as Lincoln County Outstanding Employee of the Year 2024. Thank you. Congratulations.
I'd just like to start by saying just thank you. I've been able to present in front of this, board a couple of times, and it's always an honor to work for Lincoln County and just to be part of the leadership team here with the great leadership we have, and just to be an instrumental part of that. I just appreciate the opportunity. I've told my staff that this is more about them than it is me. They help me look good, and this is for all of them and all the hard work that they do to serve the citizens of Lincoln County. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
And then last but not least, our other Outstanding Employee of the Year award is recognized. This individual is recognized for his exceptional dedication and contributions to Lincoln County. He has consistently gone above and beyond in his role, working tirelessly to support various departments, including fire, EMS, and emergency services. His strong work ethic, positive attitude, and willingness to help have made him an invaluable asset to the county and residents of Lincoln County, especially during the recent event of Hurricane Helene. We are proud to congratulate Mr. Joshua Holland as Lincoln County Outstanding Employee for the year of 2024.
Commissioners, thank you. To be honest, very humbled by this. I love working for Lincoln County, and I could not be successful without the partners that I work with on a daily basis. And thank you. This means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
I would just like to congratulate all these excellent employees. They're well deserving. Part of this process, in order for the commission to understand, they are selected by a committee of their peers that is selected to review the nominations. We had some really great nominations this year, some very worthy people that did not get selected this cycle, but we think that the three that were recognized are worthy of the recognition for this year. Each year we will continue to have a peer decided a nomination and review committee that will work through this and make those selections and then present those to us for presentation in the future. I want to, first of all, thank the employees' families for being here. I know you're proud of them. We are. They make Lincoln County great. Thank you for some of their coworkers that are here. And I think that we have done a great job, and they have done a great job given the circumstances of this. This has been an interesting year with the disasters and everything else, and they have stood the test of time. We're glad to recognize them. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is the 4-H Annual Jubilee. Ms. Sarah Gales will present. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you. Good evening. My name is Sarah Gales, and I am the 4-H program assistant. Tonight, our 4-H agent, Hannah Benefit, is not able to attend due to a family emergency, but she has handed off her words for me to share with you this evening. Tonight, we celebrate the end of the 4-H year, all our accomplishments, and thank those who see the value in our 4-H youth development program here in Lincoln County. Within 4-H, we provide essential life skills to our youth through real-life experiences. One of our great opportunities is to help grow the next generation of leaders, and what better way than giving them the opportunity to gain public speaking than in front of our wonderful county commissioners. Tonight, we have a few of our 4-Hers who would like to come up and share their accomplishments and experiences this year.
Good evening. I'm Jordan Mitchum. I've been active in 4-H for about 11 years now, and while my main project area is livestock judging and showing cows, I've also learned public speaking skills as I've given presentations and one on a state level in all age categories. I've gained leadership skills as I've been president of my local 4-H club and vice president on a district level. And then also 4-H has led me to more opportunities as I've become actively involved in the National Hereford Association, as I've shown cattle across the country, as I just got back at 3 o'clock this morning from a show in Mississippi where I had champion Hereford. And then all this together has led me to meet many new people as I've gone on trips like National 4-H Congress and Faces of Leadership. And just most importantly, 4-H has shaped my future as I plan to go to college and then continue to build and develop my cow herd. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the County Commissioners. My name is Joseph Franz, and for any of you that remember, last year I came up here, I could barely speak and express myself. So hopefully I can get my thoughts across more clearly this time. 4-H is a dedicated program designed to help provide young people like myself and my other fellow 4-H members with invaluable opportunities to explore various careers that contribute to the fabric of our community. We learn about essential fields such as agriculture and administrative professions, and many others that shape our everyday lives. Notably, the program has also spearheaded multiple, I'm so sorry.
You're fine. Take your time. You're good.
Spearheaded numerous community services and projects, including a heartwarming project to help feed the homeless, and another meaningful project where we collected supplies to help people battling breast cancer. I'm also excited to share my 4-H experiences with my baby brother coming this next year, as he's a little bit too young to join the 4-H program. Moreover, 4-H has been a vital program to help me, for social interaction, and has stuck with me as I am a homeschooler. Many homeschoolers do not have the privilege of socializing regularly with their peers, and in my time in 4-H has filled that gap beautifully. Through this program, I've experienced personal growth, learning not from only diverse perspectives from those around me, but also from teaching them as well.
Now at just 15 years old, I find myself attending Gaston College, an accomplishment that makes me the youngest to ever attend Gaston College. This event last year made me realize that public speaking also plays a very big role in my 4-H opportunities, I would say. So in my first semester of Gaston College, I took a public speaking class just to prepare myself for this moment. Sorry, give me a second here. I can unequivocally attribute my remarkable journey to the unwavering support and guidance from these incredible women standing behind me today, as well as the foundational skills I've gained from 4-H. In closing, I would like to ask the board for permission to invite everyone to join me in giving a well-deserved round of applause to those extraordinary women and for the impactful 4-H program that has shaped my life so profoundly. Can I, please? Thank you all for the opportunity to speak in front of this board, and I wish y'all all a happy holidays.
You did very well. I remember last year quite well, and you did very, very well, young man.
Hello everybody, my name is Samantha Harmon. I am a student at Lincoln Charter School and a member of the Lincoln County 4-H Club. I have been a member for 2 years. This year I have participated in many different 4-H activities, like 4-H Discovery Camps, NC State Congress, 4-H Spin Club, Camp Betsy Jeff Penn, and next year I plan to go to NC State Electrical Congress. I was youth delegate at Congress this year, adventure at BJP, and currently a youth leader at our spin club. My favorite experience this year was going to Congress. It was such a fun, amazing experience. I connected with so many 4-Hers across the state, our county, and from our international program. These 4-H experiences have given me a lot of confidence to speak in front of you today. I am so honored to be here to serve alongside the rest of the 4-H community. I would like to thank you all for your support of the 4-H program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is William Francis, and I am the president of the East Lincoln High School Garden and Growing 4-H Club. We created the Garden and Growing Club back in mid-2023 because most students wanted something more involved than our current FFA program. Since then, we started from around 4 to 5 people in the club. Since then, we have grown to around 30 students who actively contribute and participate. We have managed to provide a lot of opportunities to these students, including sending one of them to the 4-H Congress last year, and we have been able to contribute to our community a lot. We grew a community garden, which we donated most of the produce to Christian Ministries. One thing that I did was over the summer, I managed a pumpkin patch throughout the entire summer with a couple other students, which we then took the pumpkins and gave them to the adaptive class so they could have a fall party where they all painted pumpkins. For these reasons is why in August, during our first officer elections, I was elected president of our 4-H club. Just last week, we completed a stocking stuffer drive that was donating stocking stuffers to Western North Carolina to families who may not be able to provide their children a Christmas. It is for these reasons that I am very glad for you letting me speak today, and I'm very glad for your continued support of the 4-H program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, my name is Grayson Jeffcoat, and I am in East Lincoln's 4-H Garden Club. I've been here for like 2 years. It's pretty awesome. I'm the vice president with Jack. We've mainly focused on gardening. So for example, we recently, a couple months ago, planted some mums in like the courtyard of our school, and we upkept those and other like school beautification stuff. But we also do food too. We had a cabbage patch 2 years ago behind our agricultural classroom, and we upkept that, and then we had some food in the school garden. We had like tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, all that stuff. And like Jack said, we recently held a Christmas drive for children in Western North Carolina. where we collected toys, stocking stuffers, and gifts. And this club has given me an opportunity to expand knowledge and, the 4-H program and just stuff in that genre. We're like planting and gardening. But I also had the opportunity this summer in July to go to 4-H Congress. And that really helped me understand the 4-H organization. And it helped me kind of understand how things go on in the organization, because I really had no idea before, and I went in blind to the group. But it allowed me to tour NC State too, which is awesome because I kind of found out where I wanted to go after Gaston and how it kind of connects to 4-H. But overall, the 4-H and the club has given me an opportunity to kind of find where I want to go in my future and like find, different opportunities and stuff like that. But thank you.
Thank you.
Now that you have heard from our 4-H youth, I would like to share a few more accomplishments that my staff and myself have achieved. As you saw on the last slide, we reached our community youth through various educational ways. But what I did not include is our total community impact. Throughout the year, we have provided 4-H educational programs to over 4,300 youth through spin clubs, community clubs, after-school clubs, camps, and school enrichment programs. For a staff of 3, I would say we positively impacted a large part of our community. Though we are proud of our community reach, we feel we need to continue to support with more, we need to connect with more youth here in Lincoln County. As we continue to set new goals this year, we could not reach those goals unless we had the support of our county commissioners, our county manager, volunteers, parents, and community supporters. These are the individuals we are here to thank tonight, because without your support, our leaders of tomorrow would not receive the foundation of today through hands-on educational programs provided by 4-H. I want to thank each and every one of you tonight for seeing the value in our 4-H Youth Development Program. To show our gratitude, our 4-Hers have made some special gifts for each of you. And we hope you enjoy these boxes of joy from your 4-H Youth Development Program. Thank you all again for your continued support, and I'm very honored to work for 4-H because I grew up in this community, and it has been a blessing for me to do this job, and I just want to thank all of you for your support. Thank you.
And thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Chairman, may I make a quick comment? Go ahead. I just want to appreciate all of you. I know it's tough to get up here and speak in front of the commissioners. Young man, you did an excellent job and always improving and growing and being better. So congratulations to all of you. But I do want to ask before I open up this box, you're not the group that also cooked that chicken and the pumpkin, did you? Yes, you are? Okay, well, we got to talk about that. All right, thank you. Good job. Congratulations. Okay, that might be a story we need to hear about later on. So, thank y'all. So, next on the agenda is presentation of SBA disaster program. Ms. Green.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank the Board of Commissioners letting me be able to come and present the SBA disaster program. My name is Arlise Green. I am a public affairs specialist with the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience of the U.S. Small Business Administration. And I'm going to briefly tell you about the programs that we have. We have 2 programs. We have one for physical damages, which homeowners, renters, landlords, business owners, and nonprofit organizations are eligible for. And then we have another program for economic injury. Now, with economic injury, you do not have to have any physical damages. The damage comes from loss of revenue or business slowing down. You may not have, a lot of businesses say that, oh, we have not been affected. But when a neighboring community has been affected, it tends to trickle down. And it takes a business 6 months to a year before they know they have even been impacted by this injury. So let me tell you a little bit about the programs. Now, for the homeowners and renters, for the homeowners, they can borrow up to $500,000. For the renters, they can borrow up to $100,000, and this is at up to a 30-year term. No payment and no interest for the first 12 months. And then for the economic injury, business can borrow up to $2 million. Again, no payment, no interest for the first 12 months. Both programs, you can borrow up to $50,000 with no collateral. And a business or a homeowner can apply it 3 times, meaning that if they have their home damages, they can apply for their home, and as long as their business is in a different location, they can apply for physical damage for their business, and then they can also apply for the economic injury. So they can get up to $150,000 with no collateral because it's 50-50-50. Also, I would like to make notice that SBA has different programs. Beside that, they have one for mitigation, refinancing, and relocate. So on the handouts that I've presented, I ask that you would read it carefully because it's a lot of programs that SBA has to offer. Now, the deadline to apply for physical damages is January the 7th, 2025, and for the economic injury, June 30th, 2025. Again, we give that time period to give businesses to recognize that they have been impacted. Now, to apply, we ask that you visit sba.gov/disasters, or you can call the customer service number at 1-800-659-2955. Now, at this time, I will open the floor for any questions or concerns that the board may have for me.
Do any board members have any questions for Ms. Green?
All right, thank you again for letting me be able to come present the program. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, I'll just say that for those that are in attendance and those watching, that we'll make copies of this packet and have it up at the main office here if any of the public wants to come also get the information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So next, we will move into the planning board recommendations. Andrew Bryant will present.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. For you tonight, we have the planning board's recommendations from their December 2nd, 2024 meeting. There was only one case. That's ZMA number 743. Richard Reber was the applicant, and this was a request to rezone 0.58 acre parcel from residential transitional to neighborhood business. Property located at 7778 NC 73 in the Catawba Springs Township. The planning board voted 5-0 to recommend approval of the request, and the statement of consistency and reasonableness as recommended by the planning board is attached. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
I make a motion to adopt the statement of consistency and reasonableness as presented by the planning board.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Cecina. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. All right, that passes unanimous.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve ZMA number 743, Richard Reber, applicant, as recommended by the planning board.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Cecina. Anybody have any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will move on to public hearing for proposed private road name, Fern Creek Trail, previously Nolan Farm Lane. Ms. Susan Sane.
Chairman and Commissioners, good evening.
Good evening.
So we are here this evening to request the renaming of a private road from Nolan Farm Lane. This property was once named from a family on the property. That family no longer owns that property, and the ordinance does not require us to do that anymore, so we don't name it by families' names. So we're requesting to change that to Fern Creek Trail. And this road is located off of the Buffalo Shoals Road in the Irontown Township, and it meets the requirements for the official road name. So at this time, I ask for the public hearing and the approval to rename it.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the public hearing concerning the proposed private road name, Fern Creek Trail. And I have no one listed to speak. Anybody in the audience would like to speak again for this? All right, being no speakers, I declare the public hearing closed. And I will entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance officially naming the existing private drive as Fern Creek Trail.
So move.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Patton. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed, say no. Passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will move on to approval of digitization of newspapers of microfilm bound editions, loose papers, and other historical documents on microfilm using U.S. Imaging as vendor at a price not to exceed $275,000. Dr. Jennifer Sackett will present.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I'm here this evening to ask your approval to enter into a contract or agreement with U.S. Imaging to digitize the Lincoln Times and a couple other historical documents. This is something that we helped rescue the newspapers about 3 years ago, and in 2022 secured the copyrights to the Lincoln Times from December 22 going back to the beginning of its time. So we're working on trying to get this so it's more accessible, as well as over the years, the microfilm had been damaged from years of use, and this would make it so that people could look for it. Hopefully, on the internet, we are trying to deal with a few copyright issues, but once we can do that, it should be a lot easier for researchers to be able to access from wherever they are. And this does come from a state grant, $245,000, $30,000 does come from the county match. So that's why the contract not to exceed that is because they've done an estimate on how many images they will need to take. They will clean up the images, and they will also OCR them so they'll be text searchable.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioners have any questions? I will entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
All right, we have Commissioner Carpenter with the motion. Any questions, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Unanimous. Thank you. We will move to approval of fiscal year 25 SHIP grant through the North Carolina Department of Insurance. Ms. Catherine Sane.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here tonight to request approval for our FY25 SHIP grant. This is the Senior Health Insurance and Information Program. It's run through the Department of Insurance. They provide unbiased, impartial counselors on site at our senior center. We will have one on site full time. I have an employee that is going through the training currently. The others are all volunteers, which is amazing. They dedicate their time to the citizens of the county to help them save some money. So what this program does is that it helps citizens that are new to Medicare, turning 65, weigh all of their options as far as what they want to pick, whether it's a Medicare plan and a supplement and prescription drugs, or a Medicare Advantage plan. We look at all of the different products. We measure what their pharmacies are, what their drugs are, who their doctors are. We put it into a system, and it will pull back the best options for them. They, in turn, can then go make the decisions that are best for their families and for their situation. operations. With this money, we also provide Medicare 101 trainings across the county. Again, that is for people that are new to Medicare, have questions about Medicare, what's happening now, what's possibly going to happen in the future. It's education and resources for our community. We also provide workshops throughout the year. We do travel over to the Trilogy neighborhood and 3 Cherry Way neighborhood, so we can reach people all across the county with these funds. There is no county match, so that's a good thing. We are receiving $7,141 this year for this fiscal year, and I just ask for your approval for this.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
All right, Commissioner Mullen has the motion. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? All right, passed unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
All right, we will move to approval of fiscal year 26 through 28 work first plan and electing county status, Matthew Hillman and Rhonda Duckworth.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for your time. On November 27, 2024, DSS received notice from the state that all counties wishing to remain in electing status and participate in work first planning process must have that process completed by January 10th of 2025. Myself, along with other directors, communicated to DHHS some concerns with that timeline and the ability to meet all the requirements that are needed to complete our work first planning process. Since that initial communication, DHHS has extended our timeline from January 10th to February 10th of 2025, giving us extra 30 days or so to be able to complete that process. As an electing county, we're given greater flexibility in establishing our eligibility policies, those who are eligible to receive the assistance under the Work First Plan, and under what conditions. We're also able to realize the funding flexibility within the Work First Block Grant. Some examples of how we're able to adjust our plan locally. Our Work First workers are able to have detailed conversation with clients to assess job readiness, work history, recent efforts to locate employment, educational level, and other supports or services or barriers that may be present. Also, we have 2 specific incentive programs, one for adults and one for youth, that help them work on job readiness and work towards employment. Finally, if we were to move away from our electing status, we would lose our ability to flexibly manage our Work First Block Grant funding that annually allows us savings of upwards to $500,000 to $600,000 in staff salary with DSS for our child welfare workers. So Lincoln County Department of Social Services requests the Board of County Commissioners to approve the intent to pursue continuation of the Lincoln County's electing county status, appoint members or their authorized designee to serve on our planning committee. The list was provided to you prior to the meeting, and then allow us our work first planning process. Once we are able to have our meeting, post for public comment, and develop our draft plan, we'll bring the final plan to this board for final approval prior to February 10th. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to continue in electing status as recommended by a DSS director.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Cecina. Any discussion? All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move into the authorization to purchase AMI system, John Henry, Mike Simmons, and Deanna Rios.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is the AMI system from Consolidated Pipe. They will provide the necessary infrastructure and replacement of meters. This is an automated meter reading system that can be accessed remotely. The total price is $4,626,000, $339.25. This is being funded through, I believe, ARPA. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for John? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
All right, Commissioner Cecina has the motion to approve. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. All right, John, passed unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll go to authorization to upgrade SCADA system, John Henry, Mike Simmons.
This SCADA system is a system that we started implementing, I think, about 8 years ago. It is a monitoring system for the water treatment plant and the lift stations. It's remote access. This is an upgrade, 33 stations, and put in a backup server. This is also funded by ARPA. The amount is $1,010,305.48. Does anybody have any questions?
Just one real quick one, and it's probably more of an Andrew question than it is a you question.
Okay.
Does this include the stop spelling so bad stuff? It does not. Okay. Thanks.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, Commissioner Carpenter has the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right, unanimous. Thank you, John. All right, we'll go with Andrew Bryant with Density Amendment Blueprint 2043.
Good evening again. This agenda item is the density amendment for Blueprint 2043, which is our long-range comprehensive land use plan. The form and parameters section of this plan needs to be updated as a result of our UDO amendments back in August. This really just brings those two documents in alignment with one another, reflecting that kind of shift back to around 3/4 acre minimum lot size, and again, the structure for plan developments. The planning board has reviewed this amendment. You see it included as part of your packet in underline and strike throughs for the additions and deletions. Are there any questions by any members of the board on this agenda item?
Any questions? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
All right, Commissioner Patton. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, unanimous. Thank you. All right. Now we have the assignment and assumptions agreement of Lincoln County Regional Airport. Ms. Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is an assignment and assumption agreement for the Lincoln County Regional Airport. This is a required document for the FAA. This is part of the process to remove the city of Lincolnton as a sponsor for the airport. As you all know, the city of Lincolnton has served for many years as a co-sponsor, but the goal is to get them removed. And this is the last step in that process. After this is adopted and agreed to, we will get this to the FAA, and the FAA will move forward with the approval of to remove the city of Lincolnton. The city of Lincolnton will be taking this to their board at the first meeting in January. So we should have it complete in January, get it sent off to the FAA, and fingers crossed, approval soon thereafter. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, sir. Apparently, we have some quiet folks here this evening.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina for approval. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, unanimous. Thank you. And Andrew, your turn again. Lincoln County Water Treatment Plant Fluoridation.
Good evening again, members of the board. I'm here to give y'all an update on kind of the process that we've been going through as the public utility staff over the past several years in regards to the fluoridation of our water supply system here in Lincoln County. And fluoride was first part of the Lincoln County water system in the early 1980s. That includes when we purchased water from the city of Lincoln to start our system. We had countywide, not countywide, we had pipes out in the county prior to the creation of and the installation of our water treatment plant on Lake Norman in 1992. When that plant was built in 1992, we included fluoride as part of that initial construction of that plant. That system stayed with the plant until 2014 when it was upgraded and replaced at that time. And then in 2018, that system failed. at the plant. And since 2018, when that failure happened in the tank structure that held the fluoride chemical, Lincoln County's system and our injection of fluoride ceased in 2018. We still remain interconnected with the city of Lincoln and their plant, which they fluoridate their water. So I want to make it known that Lincoln County's interconnected system with the city of Lincoln, that there was still fluoride in the system, but just not meeting the EPA recommended levels. I think all of you acknowledge here on the board that when I mentioned that we stopped fluoridating the water in 2018, there's been a sizable gap in time from 2018 to 2024. And public utility staff recognizes that. But when this current team that was in place that's with us tonight recognized this problem in 2022 due to a change in leadership, we knew that additional action needed to take place, and we worked together to kind of formulate a plan on how to attack that. Through much of 2023, as we're looking to redesign our disinfection system, which is the chlorination of our water, we began consultation with that outside engineering firm to try to figure out what it would take to bring this fluoridation system back online for the water treatment plant. We spent much of 2023 trying to figure that out and trying to figure out how it would work with our disinfection system as well. Also during that time, probably about this time last year, started conversations with county management and the board in place at that time on the process on which to take to get us here this evening. And much of that process was really shaped towards having a conversation with the Board of Health, who are our public health advisory team here under the health department. We spent time with them over the past year talking through that process with them, and I'll kind of advise you on how those steps went in just a moment. So in order to replace the fluoride system here at the water treatment plant, several things would need to take. It's not just replacing that cracked tank. There are contributing factors to that. Mainly the slab that it was underneath failed and was not able to withstand the load of that tank and its contents. So in order to replace the fluoride system at the water treatment plant, the tank would need to be replaced, all the metering pumps, all the piping that integrates it into our treatment processes. That failed slab would need to be repoured, and the installation of additional sensors and that SCADA integration so we can control it remotely. That cost comes a total to around $1.4 million to do all that. That's a design and construction for this project. This is no small task to go in and replace this system at this plant. It's a big system to replace. So as I mentioned a moment ago, we did involve the Board of Health, and I can't thank Lena Jones and her teams enough for their assistance they provided and their guidance they provided in navigating their process through the Board of Health. But we first brought this item back in March of 2024 and kind of advised the Board of Health of what we're advising this board here tonight of, about the fact that that water system had not been fluoridated since 2018. Not everybody was able to attend that meeting, and some of the discussion that night had to be handled remotely. So the discussion was agreed to be continued to the next available meeting, which was actually in July of 2024. Robust debate continued at that meeting about the fluoride system. Again, still plenty of information exchange and information to share amongst the parties on the Board of Health. And they decided to defer their vote to their meeting in September. In September of 2024, the Board of Health voted on 3 separate motions, and they're summarized here in this presentation slide. The first was to require Lincoln County Public Utilities to notify a customer of the fluoridation status of Lincoln County. That motion was unanimously approved by the Board of Health. Second motion was to continue fluoridation at the proper dosing. That motion passed 5-2. And the third motion was to provide an opportunity for public comment at this meeting tonight, where the Board of Commissioners are updated on the project. The Board of Health members, through this motion, were authorized to speak on their own behalf and not representing the views of the Board of Health as a whole. I've already forwarded you above the motion above about their actual formal position. The ability for them to speak on their own behalf was also unanimously approved. So here tonight, after this agenda item, there's an opportunity for public comment, and that will satisfy, hopefully, that third motion that they were able to make. Stemming from that, those public comments, there's obviously an opportunity for the board to contemplate this and think about what they want to do. And we would propose that this come back before the board as part of a budget session where y'all can consider what's before you, because this is a very large budget decision for the utility and for the Board of Commissioners to make. Are there any questions on anything I've presented for you this evening?
Any questions about the commissioners?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we table this to a future meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Carpenter to table to a later time. Any discussion? All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it is tabled to a later time. All right, now we will move into public comment. This is where citizens are allowed to address the board concerning any matter. Let me remind you, you are giving us your name, address, and record for the record as you approach, and you are given 3 minutes to speak as an individual or 5 minutes as a group. If you are speaking for a group, the group needs to be presented to us. And first on the list, I have Jim Clifton.
All right, good evening. First, I'd like to congratulate, my name is Jim Clifton. I live at 425 Guy Hebner Road in Lincolnton. Congratulations to our new commissioners. I look forward to helping you in any way you can. Please don't hesitate to let me know. I have a couple issues. About 3 meetings ago, I came here with some questions. Commissioner Davis was up there, and first thing she's told me was, this is not, and this is a quote, "This is not a question and answer session, but go ahead." So I did. She answered nothing. Everybody sat silent. Jamie, I appreciate you contacting me and answering the questions. Okay, and they surrounded McCall's drunk driving and Mitchum's drunk driving, and I wanted to know if there was a commissioner's code of conduct available for us. I was told I could get one out front. They gave me a rules of procedures, so I read it anyways. That's not really what I wanted. I didn't get that question answered about a code of conduct. I do think if a commissioner gets arrested for anything, it should be public information, and maybe they should take it upon themselves to resign, because they represent us. If they endanger our lives by drinking and driving, they don't need to be sitting up there. That's my opinion. So, with that, I'm hoping on the rules and procedure on page 10, item 6 through 10, the commissioners gave themselves the right to not answer questions from us. And I didn't understand that. And I'm hoping that with the new commissioners that you could look into it and strike that paragraph, because I feel that as a tax-paying citizen of Lincoln County, we have questions. You need to be obligated to answer them in a timely fashion, maybe not within the 3 minutes. I understand 3 minutes is very short. We talked about a couple things. So I would like to see that paragraph stricken or changed to answer any questions from the public in a good time frame. And I had talked about the building permits, the length of time, and came to me and told me there was some computer glitch. Well, just recently I went back and asked about a septic permit, and I was told they were still working on them from September. So does that mean the building permits, do they go hand in hand? I don't know if you can get a building permit without a septic permit, or if you can get a septic permit before the building permit. But that just tells me they need help or something. You know, they're still working on them from September, and this is, what, the middle of December? So I would like that looked into if possible. Other than that, I'm good. I've been part of 4-H for 30 years. I was a leader. I had my own club. I had horse clubs, sheep, numerous 4-H clubs I was involved in. So that was really heartening to see these young people come up, because they're the FFA, they're the future. And I did get a kick out of the young ones talking, because it takes a lot to stand up here and talk for a youngin. So I see my time's up. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clifton. Next on the list, we have Brian David.
Hello, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm Brian David. I am at 7924 Harbor Master Court in Denver, North Carolina here. Is there anything else that I needed to? Okay. Hi, I'm Brian David. I'm a Lincoln County resident, proud husband of two, dad of two amazing girls, and a bus driver here at Lincoln Charter School. I wore my badge and my lanyard today from Lincoln Charter School because it represents our community expectations and what I would expect from the officials we elected to represent our community. Honesty, respect, empathy, responsibility, and preparedness. Look, I know you already have your minds made up about putting fluoride back in our drinking water, and this meeting ultimately is just a formality. I get it. So I'm not here to change your minds. I do, though, hope that you change it on your own. My sole purpose is to ask you if you can sit here in your seat today and truly take an unbiased view. It's an incredibly hard thing to do, even for myself sometimes when I have to make up my mind about something, but it's something that I do my best every single day to put into practice. So I ask you to please, please, please set aside your personal views about fluoride, separate yourself from the project and the companies bidding on it for just a few minutes, please, and sit there in the middle and just try to ask yourself, can I hear the benefits? And honestly, can I see the benefits that there are and potential risks from ingesting fluoride? Can I honestly ask myself, do these benefits outweigh the risks? So I'll present some concerns of mine. Regardless of your decision for all 96,500 residents of Lincoln County, you'll make tonight or upcoming, I'm not sure if you're voting, at least you won't be able to walk out of here and say you were not informed. I do not want fluoride in my city water. Currently, about 40% of Lincoln County residents rely on public well service, which means that your decision tonight represents, and the costs associated with it only apply to about 60% of our community, while 100% will be incurring the cost listed on your agenda, not to mention the annual cost to maintain the systems. Fluoride can only have one beneficial impact when consumed in appropriate dosages per the EPA. It's widely used in toothpaste and water supplies to prevent tooth decay. However, excessive fluoride intake can have negative effects on health. It is not safe to ingest. It is not a safe drug to ingest. However, if you read the back of a toothpaste package, which I brought here today, you'll see that there's plenty of warnings on that not to ingest and to call poison control. There are many risks: dental fluorosis, skeletal fluorosis, potential thyroid suppression, neurological concerns with low IQ scores, kidney health risks. So I'm not just going to, bottom line is this, I'm not just going to throw this back to you to deal with. I'd be more than willing to volunteer my time to help develop an alternative solution that...
Thank you, sir.
I'll just end with this one last second.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the list, Lisa. I'm not sure how to read this name. Tabler? Tobler, okay.
Thank you. I'm Lisa Tobler. I live at 3263 Lakeshore Road South in Denver. I know you've heard a lot about what's going on with the fluoride and have a lot of people reach out to you. I just wanted to share that I don't want fluoride in my water. I currently go through a lot of a process to not drink the fluoride in the water. But more importantly too, I can sit up here and give you all these stats on how it's not good for you, good for you, but I don't know if you've done any research. A lot of the municipalities, states are looking at taking fluoride out of their water. So I find it fiscally not smart to spend all that money to fix something that in a year or two could potentially be moot, because our new Health and Human Services Director over the federal government says one of his top priorities is to remove fluoride from all the drinking water. So as a taxpayer, I would like to take that into consideration besides the health issues, and I just don't want it in my water. Why should I have to take it if I don't want it? You can get it from so many other places. So I thank you for letting me just share my thoughts on this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, nobody else has signed up to speak. Got one. So, okay.
My name is Kami Benton. I'm 828 Pinckney Place, Stanley, North Carolina. I'm a medical doctor and on the Board of Health.
Hold on.
Real slow.
Say the name.
828 Pinckney Place, Stanley, North Carolina.
Okay. Did you get that?
Already lost 10 seconds. All right. So Galileo was considered a heretic and took 350 years to figure out that he was actually right, that the sun was the center of our solar system. Semmelweis actually declared that cleaning your hands, washing your hands was important before surgeries. It took probably about 100 years, but we all know now that we need to wash our hands. But his life was destroyed. Then there was Dr. Needleman in New Jersey, found that lead was damaging the brains of children. And the lead industry spent 13 years trying to destroy his livelihood. And he was, excuse me, I've got a sore throat. Spent 13 years destroying him, and he was vindicated in 1992. And now there's a 78% reduction in lead to protect kids' brains. I think now has come another time. We have, and I'll give you this, a federal judge has just ruled this year that plaintiffs have proven by preponderance of evidence that water fluoridation at the level of 0.7, the prescribed optimal level of fluoridation in the United States, presents an unreasonable risk of injury to health or to the environment without consideration of cost or other non-risk factors, including an unreasonable risk to potentially exposed or susceptible subpopulation under the conditions of use. That means we need informed consent. Chlorinating water does not require informed consent, but fluoridating humans is medicating humans, and that requires informed consent. And right now there is a national trend towards taking it out of this because we have evidence of damage to babies' brains. And if you see with your eyes, you see with your heart, and you see with the kids, the fact that children's brains are not the same as when we were kids, we have to look at all causes of brain injury. And so therefore, this is a time in history where we have to go beyond what our mindset is. Real science pushes through, and it is painful sometimes for us to have to undo what we already think we know, and we have to push through, and that's when scientific advances occur. Anything else is a religion. Science has become a religion. In the past, churches went after the scientists and destroyed them. Now science goes after scientists to destroy them. That is the dogma of science. Now, to have true science, we have to challenge ourselves to rattle the chains and to question everything we know. That's how we look after the health of children. So I vote against fluoridation of our city water because, quite frankly, you're about to have to not spend all that money anyway because it is a national trend away from this. So let's think ahead. Let's save taxpayer dollars. I am happy as a medical doctor to provide expertise. I studied holistic medicine. I believe in the importance of teeth and its effect on health. I believe in the importance of the brain and its effect on health. I believe that we can do it all for the well-being of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, no one else to speak in public comments. We will move on to the Finance Officer Report. Deanna Rios.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight we are going through the performance report for October, which is 1/3 of the year already finished. And as you can see, investment earnings for the year are starting to come in. The general fund had a little over $234,000 allocated to it through October, but we do have $1.3 million in the pooled fund that has yet to be distributed. Once we get the October bank statement done, we will distribute that money. We've budgeted $1.8 million this year in the general fund interest revenue account because interest rates are, even though they're down from where they were last year, they're higher than they have been in several years. Taxes, ad valorem taxes for the fiscal year are budgeted at $88.9 million. Tax collections through October were a little over $70 million, and a lot of that's due to the discount that the county gives for early payment of taxes. We'll get another bunch this month and through January 6th. We should get most of the remainder. Sales taxes for the year were budgeted at $33.4 million. We have received $6.5 million. That is for the first 2 collection months of the year. Total revenues in the general fund are at almost 56.5%, mainly due to ad valorem taxes collected. Expenditures are at 31. Utility fund revenues are at 34%, expenses are at 30. And solid waste fund revenues are at 70%, mainly due to the collection of the solid waste fee on the tax bill, and expenses are at almost 28%. As y'all know, the audit was complete, was submitted to the LGC, was accepted, and we are hot and heavy into the 26 budget. Is there any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we will go to county manager report.
Thank you, Chairman. So just a few project updates for tonight. I know we've had a pretty good lot of presentations. I want to let you know that the approval for the DSS Space Needs Assessment has occurred, and John Henry is working with Stuart Cooper Newell to start the planning process. That's something that y'all have been briefed on, something long in the coming of trying to expand that. It's at some point in the near future. Construction of the Citizen Center lobby will tentatively begin on 12/26. That's part of our total Citizen Center and auditorium project. As you know, we've upgraded lights and stage and done other features. There'll be limited access during this time. I'm not really sure exactly when it'll be fully complete. If you want to know, John probably does know the answer to that, but we just want the public to know we'll have limited access through that front end during that time period. The capital improvement plan review has already begun for fiscal year 26. The finance team and I have had some specific meetings with larger departments and planning to have some more meetings with them in the future to get that ready for our workshops that will be coming up in January and onward from that point. Finally, I'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays as we round out 2024. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now we will move to county attorney's report. Ms. Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just to brief the board on a couple updates that came from the General Assembly. Senate Bill 382 was finally adopted. It was vetoed by the governor and then supermajority. There was a late vote in the House last week to overturn that veto. So there are a few things that came out of that. This is going to freeze vesting in affected areas from Helene. And what that means is any development approvals that were effective January 1st of 2024, so it's retroactive back to the beginning of this year, through December 31st of 2027. So basically it will freeze everything. We will not be tolling vesting or anything like that on these properties. And on these development approvals. So I've already talked with Andrew and his staff. We're going to figure out kind of a way we're going to track this. So that is a big change and a big extension for a lot of these developments that were set to expire soon. They also increased septic permits for a period of 10 years from the date of issuance. Most of those permits are valid for 5. Now they are valid for 10. And that is only in the affected areas, and we are an affected area. We were in that original declaration. There is also an extension for concealed carries. If your concealed carry was set to expire anytime from September 25th of this year to December 31st, it is now extended to March 1st of 2025. And one of the biggest and most talked about changes that came out of this bill is that the General Assembly took away the local government's abilities to initiate downzoning without the consent of property owners. So we can no longer go in and rezone a property without the owner's consent if it is considered a downzoning. I don't believe we do that very often. We haven't done it since I've been here, but that was a power we had, but we no longer have it. So that was what came down from the General Assembly last week. I also met with the Soil and Water Board last week. We are working on updating our agricultural district ordinances. We have 2 types of agricultural districts, voluntary and enhanced. We are working to update those ordinances to bring them into conformity with state law. I'm also working with the tax department to get that information more readily available. So that will be coming before this board in the next few months, hopefully. Any questions? All right.
Thank you. Okay, County Commissioners report. Does any commissioner have anything to report?
Commissioner Lumberger, I just wanted to go ahead and thank the employees. I won't be able to be there this week for the luncheons. I have a pre-engagement before I realize the date, and just want to tell them I really appreciate all the hard work they put into the county, and happy holidays to them and their families.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on to other business. Before we get with the other business, to the commissioners, I passed out earlier our organizational assignment things. So if you would take a look at those and give me any feedback that you have on that for your assignments, and we will get this finalized and get it submitted to each committee, so that way we can move forward with our committees and fulfilling our duties. Any other business?
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion to appoint Commissioner Trent Carpenter to the Board of Health, Commissioner Alex Patton to the Social Services Board.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Cecina to appoint Trent Carpenter to the Board of Health and Alex Patton to the Social Service Board. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, pass unanimous. Thank you. And now we will move into closed session. So if somebody would read the reason for closed session and make that in a form of motion, I would appreciate it.
Make a motion to enter closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A3 to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which is privileged and is hereby acknowledged.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina to enter closed session. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, pass unanimous. We are now in closed session. Okay, we are back in open session. No action was taken in closed session. Is there anything else anybody has for this meeting?
Yes, sir. I move that we adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.